One of you wants to be understood. The other wants to fix the problem. And that's where things start to go wrong, because those are two completely different needs. You think you're doing the right thing. They leave the conversation feeling unheard. Now you're both frustrated, even though neither of you meant for it to go this way. It usually starts small. They tell you about something that upset them. You try to make it better. You offer a solution, reassurance, or a new perspective. But something shifts. Their tone changes. They pull back, or they get irritated. Suddenly, you're not on the same side anymore. Now it feels like you've done something wrong, even though you were trying to help. And that's the confusing part, because nothing you said was wrong. So why does it still feel like it made things worse? Here's what's actually happening. One of you is trying to connect emotionally. The other is trying to solve the problem. When those things happen at the same time, they create distance instead of closeness. Being understood and being fixed are two completely different experiences. If you don't recognize that difference, you'll keep having the same conversation over and over again without it ever really landing. One person is saying, "I need you to understand how this feels." The other is thinking, "I need to fix this so you feel better." Both make sense, but they don't meet. When someone is trying to share how they feel and they receive solutions instead, it can feel like their emotions are being skipped over. Not because you don't care, but because you move too quickly into fixing mode. On the other side, if you're the one trying to help, it can feel frustrating too. In your head, you're thinking, "I'm listening, I'm trying to help. Why is this turning into a problem?" Now both of you feel misunderstood. One feels dismissed. The other feels unappreciated. The conversation turns into tension instead of connection. This is the pattern most people miss. It's not about what you're saying. It's about what they need and what you're giving instead. There are two different needs at play: to be understood and to be helped. Timing is everything. If you try to help before someone feels understood, they won't receive it. Even if your advice is good, even if your intentions are right. That's why the same conversation keeps repeating. You talk it through, you explain yourself, you try again, but it never really lands. The problem isn't communication, it's a mismatch. One person is in emotion mode, the other is in solution mode. When those don't line up, friction follows. Here's how it usually plays out. One person shares something small, something that didn't feel right and stayed with them. Instead of feeling closer after saying it, they feel more alone. The response skips past the feeling and goes straight to fixing it. Over time, something changes. They stop bringing things up. They start keeping things to themselves. Not because they don't care, but because it doesn't feel like it lands. On the other side, you don't even realize this is happening. From your point of view, you've been trying the whole time. What felt like support to you felt like distance to them. You care, just in different ways. That difference is where the disconnect starts. So what actually changes this? It's not better advice. It's not saying things perfectly. It's recognizing the moment you're in. If someone is sharing how they feel, pause. Let them finish. Let them feel heard. Let them feel like what they're saying matters. If you fix it too early, it won't feel like help. Once someone feels understood, they're far more open to solutions. And if you're the one sharing something, be clear about what you need. Do you want support or do you want solutions? The other person might be trying to help, just in the wrong way. Most arguments don't come from bad intentions. They come from misaligned ones. You're both trying to care, just in different directions. Once you see that, you stop taking it as rejection. You stop assuming the worst. The conversation starts to feel different because being understood creates connection. And without that, nothing else really lands. You've been watching The Soft Skills. Like and subscribe for more clarity, perspective, and tools you can actually use in your relationships.